Wait, hold on. There was one more thing. What is this? 28 minutes ago. Did this just happen?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if we ran companies that way? Because companies aren't democracies. They're totalitarian.
So how do you run a company?
What? A company cannot be totalitarian. Where did he get that argument from? Companies aren't governments. Like, that's like, I mean, like, you could like, as a joke, you could analyze things that way, or not really as a joke, but maybe it's kind of like an interesting, maybe it's an interesting thought experiment. You could run it that way, but like, it's not very meaningful, right? Like, do you think that democracy is the best form of governance? I truly do. I truly do believe democracy is really interesting, because you've got a child and I notice you don't let him vote on what his rights are. Well, okay. Oh, so would you say that you run your household incredibly pro the house's name? You advocate for your family, probably above all else? Yeah, obviously, it's my family. Oh, and what? You run it as a dictator? Sure, yeah. Interesting. So kind of like a ultra-nationalist, authoritarian, totalitarian. So you're a fascist. You're a fascist. It's like, okay, yeah, like, sure, yeah, I run my house like a fascist. I guess technically, yeah, that's true. But it's like the form of analysis doesn't really work when you're applying it to firms or households or schools, or, you know, like it kind of it breaks down a little bit for a variety of reasons. Namely that there are different expectations and responsibilities placed on firms and governments.
So
That way. Because companies aren't democracies. They're totalitarian.
So how do you run a company? So first of all, usually how are companies made? Usually,
I would never talk to Ethan about this, because this is the one aspect where it goes directly against his best interest.
Google,
Right.
made by a few.
That's such a disgusting slime ball thing to say. I can't believe, you understand what Hasan is saying here, right? Let me do the Destiny translation. I would never talk about this to Ethan because he's such a disgusting, bad faith, greedy loser that he's never going to be honest about how absolutely gross the way that he runs his businesses, and he's just going to shill capitalism because he's a wealthy business owner that directly benefits off of the exploitation of his labor, right? That's like, what a gross statement. Like also, not to mention, how insane to say that about a guy that you co-host a social political podcast with. What a weird thing to say. I would never talk about this because I know my co-host is bad faith. By the way, when I say this, that thing that we won't talk about, it's literally like the center point to my entire economic and political philosophy. Can you replay what he says again? He basically just claims that Ethan is too... Oh, not that. He basically just claims that Ethan is too bought into capitalism as a business owner to even have an honest opinion about this, so Hasan could never reach him. That's essentially what he's saying, right?
First of all, usually how are companies made? Usually,
I would never talk to Ethan about this because this is the one aspect where it goes directly against his best interest.
Google,
Right.
made by a few
Like, I wouldn't debate Ethan on this front. I mean, obviously it's different for Dan because, like, Dan is
an employee instead of an employer. But like, bro, come on. What a rude thing to say about your podcast co-host about politics. That's such an unbelievably thing to say. Like, imagine if Ethan was like, I think that talking about the current state of world affairs and what's happening in Ukraine and China is important. I don't really think I would discuss genocides, though, with a Turk. I don't think I would discuss genocide with Hasan because obviously he's very motivated to deny, his people's path. Like, could you imagine saying something like that? Like, that would be so wild. Like, bro, Hasan is your podcast co-host. Why would you say that? That he's not capable of engaging on something on a political level? That's so unbelievably true. Dude, that's not what he's saying. Review this stream and come back in a month after you're unbanned, maybe if you want to. That is absolutely what he's saying. There's no other interpretation of this. And whatever other dimension of charitability that you're going to try to get on to change what he's saying, go f yourself. Get that ass banned.
He's different for Dan because, like, Dan is he works with Ethan in a different way. But if I were to debate someone who is a business owner...
What does he mean he works with Ethan in a different way? You mean he works for Ethan? Did he try to? Why did he just avoid saying that? He was a tier 2. He deserves a 7-day ban at most. Okay, you're right. You know what? You get a 1-hour ban. Pegatron talked me out of it. You're lucky.
Friend or not friend, like that's not a talking point that I would use because that shuts you out of the combo aggressively.
That's why. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what if we ran companies that way?
Isn't Hasan a business owner? Not really, but like not by choice, just because he's lazy. He should be, but he's not. It's really funny because Hasan, I don't know if we've talked about this, but Hasan is kind of like, his work ethic, I think, is a little bit, oh, did we talk about, I don't know if I talked about this on stream or if it was off stream, but Hasan's work ethic is similar to Vosh's and that, oh, we were talking about this, there was a group of people in here. I think that people are sometimes very content to being a big fish in a small pond and they don't want to upgrade. They'd rather be the big fish in the small pond than a medium-sized fish trying to eat the others in a larger pond. So like Hasan is very comfortable with where he's at. He's very unambitious. And then same thing with Vosh. Vosh is very comfortable where he's at. He's very unambitious. But I don't know. I feel like it's kind of sad, but.
I'll take on humanity, dude. You guys are.
Dan, do you know? Because you know everything.
Yeah, I don't really. Do you really want to get into this right now?
I don't mind.
I'm
I don't
actually
really want to
curious.
do it right now. So.
Okay,
Well,
that's
they
fine.
think that like
I'm actually curious because like it seems like majority of the chat is disagreeing, and so I
Well,
was
we have
like,
a very left-leaning audience here on the H3 podcast, and I'm sure plenty of people agree with you. I'm sure, but and obviously, the
I
people
think
that
we are left leaning too. so that's fine.
Anti-capitalists are going to speak up when you're giving an impassioned defense of it, but
I wouldn't say it's impassionate, but I do defend. I am a capitalist. What do you want? You know what I mean?
Base.
And I think it's. But
Base
the thing
that
is,
he
like,
said
they
that.
think that like
So
workers
base.
should share in the
yeah, that's the fundamental difference is that
workers should get a % of your earnings, essentially, a percentage of their production. You know, I don't really, I don't agree with that. I don't think. I mean, in some cases it's true, but I think you do have an obligation to make sure your employees are well provided for. You know what I mean? Like that's for sure. Chat. You're watching a capitalist pig. Deal with it. I don't know what. You guys are all like radical communists. There's that many radical communists.
Oh my God, Ethan is having a destiny moment. Wait a sec, guys. When you all were like, we love communism, you guys aren't actually like radical communists, right? Wait, really? He's like, no. Wait, really?
radical communists. Not everybody that's anti-capitalist is a communist.
It is kind of a
What a weird statement. Not everybody says anti-capitalist. What are you then? What do you mean?
radical take, that being like full anti-capitalist. I mean, you're essentially advocating to change the entire structure of all societies today on Earth. That's not radical?
Is there anywhere in the world that is doing that?
Uh-oh.
Not really.
Uh-oh.
China's apparently communist, but it's not
No,
really.
it's not.
It's not. The people couldn't do whatever they wanted
North
during
Korea's
COVID.
communist. Well, not really.
Yeah, that's not really.
Yeah. Russia is, well, what? I don't know what Russia is. No, not really. I don't think there is. I don't think there really is.
Uh-oh.
But how is being anti-capitalist not radical?
Talking about the accusation against Russell Brand? Not yet.
Just in theory. Because how, like,
Because the United States isn't the whole world, dude. Like,
what country is not
I mean,
capitalist?
I'm from.
Oh my God, dude. I feel like Ethan is like a 160 IQ guy stuck inside of like an 85 IQ brain. I don't know how to explain it. He has this way of just like asking really profound questions, kind of, in like the dumbest and simplest way. He does this over and over and over again. And it's just so funny to like listen to him kind of, it almost sounds like he's stumbling through these very concise and to the point questions. It is so funny to listen to him do it. It's just so funny.
Most of
Israel,
Western
but
Europe
it's pretty
has
much the same
large
thing.
anti-capitalist socialist political parties. Some of them in
What?
Just in theory, because how like
because the United States isn't the whole world, dude. Like
what country is not?
I mean,
capitalist?
I'm from
most of
Israel,
Western
but
Europe
it's pretty
has
much the same
large
thing.
anti-capitalist socialist political parties. Some of them in power at times. Some of them.
Where if Ethan, now this would be mean of Ethan, and I understand it would be mean of Ethan to say this, but because asking like for a source on the spot, but this would be because which country has a vibrant socialist movement? Which country is actually socialist? When was the last time a socialist party held power and was enacting socialist policies in a European country? Can you tell me that? Which one? Name one. Just one.
Yeah, it's definitely.
They're capitalist countries, bro.
Oh my God! But Ethan knows that. Oof. Why does he even know that? I wouldn't expect. My expectations for Ethan are like in hell. The bar is in hell. Okay, it's very low. I'm sorry, but like I wouldn't even expect him to necessarily know that. But that is true. Sweden is a capitalist country. Norway is a capitalist country. Okay, most of these countries are capitalist countries, and he knows that.
Name one European country that isn't.
Oh no, he did it! Oh, he did it! Oh no, he did it!
It's definitely.
They're capitalist countries, bro. Name one European country that isn't a capitalist country.
No, yeah, you're right. They're all capitalist countries.
Oh, and he's like, is he saying it like half sarcastically when he's like totally wrong, but he just doesn't want to admit it? Oh my, and with a single question, you watch the entire socialist world viewpoint crumble. And with one question, who are the socialist European? Remember, where did we just go from? Europe has vibrant socialist parties that have been in power at multiple points in time in European Union. Name one. Okay, whatever, dude. Fine. Okay, whatever.
Okay. You know, there's plenty to criticize for modern capitalism. Lots. It's not working in its current form. It's just totally broken in its current form. Like this late stage capitalism that, like this subreddit, like it's very poignant, I believe, with the late stage capitalism.
Okay, a little yikesy there.
It's not
but
working, for sure.
We'll give it to him. It's okay.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.